I'm having a pretty shitty day so far, so I'm gonna finish up this video. I get a lot of requests to talk about shadow people. I'm gonna finish up this video and I'm gonna go do a cleansing ritual with the god Apollo, and if everything goes well, I'll do a video about that. First, I want to say really briefly that I'm oftentimes just shocked and appalled at what so-called experts and the advice they give, these paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, etc. They have absolutely no grounding and no training in the occult, and it shows. And I'm just flabbergasted and sometimes just almost angry at the stuff that they pawn off. It's just completely false and irrelevant, and I hope that this re-adds some legitimacy to these people that have credulous credibility. And that's all, because I'm in a negative mood right now. But right now I feel this is the good time to get this information out there, because I'm going to say what I need to say and not try to candy coat it ever. But what are shadow people? Shadow people are a phenomenon that a lot of people email me about. I see a lot of people write their experiences. There's whole websites dedicated to shadow people. Shadow people are the lowest of the low, limited intelligence entities that, because of the Faustian Pact and because of our puppet masters of this day and age, they have been able to bully and contract and make sure that these low-level entities have nothing better to do than hang around and become aware when a human, which in these days is really nothing more than a two-legged cow, because their consciousness is trapped in this state of total self-absorption. They can only see the carrot that's being dangled in front of their faces, and that carrot is often, entertainment news or fear-based programming or sports or something that is truly, truly trivial in the grand scheme of things. But they don't have enough awareness to piece a larger picture together, and they definitely don't have enough awareness to figure out what's going on in their own subconscious. They don't question why they think certain things. They don't question anything about themselves, truly. They are very much trapped in a very narrow focus. The entities, the shadow people, are there because our puppet masters want humans to remain in this false, manipulated reality, and they want them stupid, docile, and unaware. So, in the rare occasion that humans have an experience that borderlines on psychic, that borderlines on awareness increasing, they will generally have an astral experience, an out-of-body, a near-death, a lucid dream. They will often encounter entities that are very belligerent and very angry. And this is for two reasons. One, the entities that they can contract to make sure they stay around have been bullied. They don't like you. They don't like the fact that they have to hang around you to scare you back into submission. And second, because of the nature of the entities and where they come from, they're generally negativity based anyways. So you have two things going against why that they're so belligerent, angry, and oftentimes scary. That's their purpose. Now, there are times where a human will have an experience that shakes them loose of their doldrum awareness that they have been kept in, and they will achieve what's called a hyper state of awareness. This could be a car crash. This could be an attempted mugging. This could be any sort of high stress, anxiety moment. It could also be when they're alone at night walking in the woods. And so all those senses that have been dormant and dull suddenly spring into action, and glimpses of shadow people occur. Now, this could be your own shadow people. This could, I've been in a car wreck where I've seen the shadow people of others. So whatever these are, they're just hanging around, and suddenly you become aware of them. Now, when you become aware of them, lo and behold, you scream demon, you scream devil. Oh my God, Bible Camp was right. Father Pete was correct. He said demons were going to get me, and then he lured me behind a shed, and then, allegations happened. But Father Pete. So these are what shadow people are. They are bound by higher, more powerful entities that, because of a hierarchy system, have set these little miscreants to work. Now, they appear human because they hang out with you all the damn time. So they start to take on your form. It makes sense to them that they would appear to you in something that you can conceive of as being a human-esque quality. If they just sort of appeared to you as a black box, you probably wouldn't be all that frightened. But they show themselves as having human-esque limbs, faces. They take on forms that are deeply rooted in the human collective subconscious that's scary. Authority figures like a shadow man with a hat, or children, or disfigured people, rats, shadow spiders, which I've encountered, shadow dogs, shadow cats, shadow snakes. These are things that humans have an innate fear of. So it only makes sense that these are beings who use your energy as a form of sustenance. And fear, panic, worry, distress, and depression are rife with dense, gnarly little vibrations that these things have to feed on. It's sustenance. They're basically leeches that need to use you and provoke negativity in and around you to get sustenance from, because they're not allowed to leave you and progress. That's why breaking the Faustian Pact, reclaiming your soul as yours and yours alone, not only releases you, but releases them. They don't then have to hang around you anymore. They are free then to go and progress and evolve. And that's freedom for one does not truly exist until freedom for all. And that's a powerful statement, and truly a compassionate one. For as much as I've put my astral sword to a number of shadow people, I've also helped other people really break that Faustian Pact, and they aren't plagued by these things anymore. Now, I will say that the majority of shadow people are absolutely harmless. They can be belligerent, creepy, very distressing, but they can't do anything because they need your energy to do it first. And manifesting in any way that you can see them perceivably takes a lot of energy for them. Basically, it's just they're trying to trigger the all-you-can-eat buffet of fear from you for a while, and then they can go back to just kind of trailing you around. For them to physically hurt you or astrally hurt you is just, it's almost impossible. I will say this though, the Mothmen are a type of shadow person. There are other names for them, fetches, it just goes on and on and on. I don't want to give a lot of detail because then people hear things and they're not necessarily what they are. They just, been kind of culturalized and changed. But these Mothmen came and gave very, very horrible and full disclosure of terrible events to come. Now, it is theorized that apparently my dog sees a shadow creature now, which very well could be. Dogs can do that. it's theorized that these entities came and seeded this community with so much fear and distress that they were able to use that energy to make those things happen. Were they giving prophecy? I don't know. I have my suspicion that they were aware that things are going to happen, but because of the amount of mayhem, murder, and just gripping fear that swept over this little community, they were able to do so much more. And I have heard accounts of Mothmen called different things in other towns and in other places. So it's definitely something that I would be suspicious of. These are interdimensional beings, so they do have consciousnesses that come from other areas, and they would definitely want their agendas fulfilled. Now, here's another interesting thing about shadow creature or shadow people, shadow creatures of all sorts. What you need to have is a better occult understanding, and so you'll know knowledge is power, okay? So these shadow people live right on the edge of waking consciousness. They're right there. So even slight changes of what's the usual doldrum of a human's awareness can trigger a sighting of one of these things. Because your astral senses, your dream body, the beginning of your astral body is all linked into the lunar planetary sphere, commonly referred to as Yesod. This is where all your astral, your deepest, darkest aspirations, both good, both bad, your desires, your sexual energy, all these things are tied into this one particular sphere. Because it's a lunar energy, it doesn't have any visibility until your personality, which is tied into the solar planetary sphere of Tipperoth, gives it light. So basically, the moon doesn't shine until until the sun's rays hit it and then reflect it back. So your personality will reflect back what's waiting for you in the astral world. You essentially give light to a dark, formless void. Now, these entities are then fed by that personality, and the strength of them is determined by what kind of personality, what kind of attributes that you are. If you are a negative, fearful, overly complicated, melancholy, megalomaniac, psychopathic, sociopathic individual, then the strength of these shadow people will be in tune with that. However, if you are truly someone who is saying, you know what, I want to be better, I want to achieve a higher potential, I just want to see how far I can go, and you're doing it from a humble standpoint, you're not doing it to be an elitist asshole, you're just going, you know what, I want to see what I can do, and I want others to maybe do the same. And that kind of energy does not bode well with these shadow creatures. They don't like it. They can't do much with it because it's a brighter, lighter, much more refined sustenance that they're not used to, and they can't handle very well. So, really start to see what your temperament and your personality is. A lot of these things hang around people because they just don't ever question what their personality is. They don't question their deeper motives. They don't question why they do certain things. They don't question why, they get up in the morning. They just go through the doldrum, get you in, get you working, get you at a cubicle, get you paying taxes, watch some TV, buy our genetically modified food, buy our drugs because it'll make you sick, try to go to sleep, buy Ambien, whatever, so you can sleep, wake up the next day and do it all over again mindset, which is what our puppet masters, which is what our so-called Illuminati, which has nothing to do with the illumination other than blinding other people with their self-righteous bullshit and trying to become a Sesimus or achieving the Luciferian energy current and becoming gods. Oh man. But this is the type of energy that they want you in. So evaluate yourself. If you see the shadow people, don't worry. Work on yourself and they'll go away.